Hello, everybody, and welcome back to another episode of Astrological Intentions. I am your host, Alex Reevy, along with the Christmas cook herself, Sandy Reevy. Say hi.
Hi, everybody. Happy holidays.
It is episode 334, the week of December 16th. Let's get right into it. December 18th, Wednesday, Sun square Neptune, stationing direct.
Sacrifice, maybe.
December 19th, Thursday, Venus trine Jupiter retrograde.
Oh, hospitable.
And Saturday the 21st, Sun in Capricorn.
Winter solstice.
And on the horizon, we have our astrology forecast and cheat sheet, our big annual year ahead coming up, as well as our Mexico retreat. And in our house, Christmas is coming, and Sandy and I are going to share our plans for the holiday season. Stay tuned for this episode of Astrological Intentions.
I say go do you. Now travel far, share your stories and earn your scars. It's you. Say you are the one, you will answer to when this life is done. Don't waste a minute, jump in the river, wash yourself clean so you can deliver you. The story of you.
Hello, Christmas cook.
I enjoy it. I've got all my cookbooks out.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
And I got a taste of some delicious morsels last night, and it was a wonderful Christmas celebration. And we'll share more about our current plans and what is happening for Christmas in our house. So let's jump right into it. In the transits, we have a short week, and it starts off with Wednesday the 18th with Sun square Neptune direct.
Right. This is the Sun in Sagittarius making a square to this Neptune in Pisces. So really, Jupiter is the ruler of both of these guys, right? This is maybe there's a sacrifice, watch being a martyr. It's not too appealing to be, so giving without some respect in return. So give without overboarding yourself, right? Like do only what you can. Neptune is stationing direct, so he's not moving at all. He's a slow moving planet anyway. But to have a specific intention, if you do want to give during this giving holiday, right, where say something like, I do this for myself. I do this cooking and, spending time in my cookbooks and shopping and preparing, for myself because it makes me feel full of joy, right? Because the Sun square can say, doesn't anybody, I'm doing all this work. I had this great goal of Sagittarius and hey, I need a little bit of, hey, thank you. In reality, it's like, just do it for yourself. Don't be a martyr. Don't be purposefully sacrificing, wanting somebody to be noticing your sacrifice.
Right. And that always kind of ends in drama or traumatic experiences if, because after a while you start to resent and just do it to do it because it does make you feel good and because it's adding to the Christmas spirit.
Yeah, this is, Sun makes a square to every planet twice in a year, right? Well, I can't say that because Sun never squares Mercury, Sun never squares Venus, but all the other planets, Mars all the way up to Pluto, twice in a year because there's a two-part, an applying square and a separating square. This is the applying square. So, do something to say, because for me, like getting in my cookbooks, kind of like you saying, I'm finding things, some of these cookbooks I haven't been in years. In fact, I found my full, again, finding things, right? I always say when I'm moving on, when I pass on, go through my cookbooks. There's some yummies in there. And I just found my huge 9x11 wedding picture.
Really?
Yeah. And then next to it was an anniversary party that we had. I think it might have been at the 15th wedding anniversary. And it's just like, here we are then, here we are now. It was kind of funny. I'll show you what I found. But I'm doing this because I'm enjoying it.
Beautiful.
Right? Yeah.
Right. All right, so let's move on to Thursday the 19th, Venus trine Jupiter retrograde.
Yeah, and I think because, Wednesday the 18th, we had that square that we just talked about. But then Thursday, boom, the 19th, the next day, we get this Venus trine Jupiter. Even though Jupiter's retrograde, hey, they come together. These are the two benefics, making a trine from an air sign. Venus is in Aquarius and Jupiter is in Gemini. So these are the air signs. So it's about sharing. And this is about what I called hospitable. This is generous. This is kind. This is cordial, right? And so, it's easy to do something hard. So kind of these 2 days, if you pack these together, right, boom, boom,
right.
This is just like really some sort of enlightening. Maybe we're going to hear some good news on the radio. Something is kind of like turn your music up. Like you just said, there was a really nice holiday playlist.
Oh yeah, on Spotify there's Christmas cocktail jazz, and it's actually really nice. I've been enjoying it because it's not the words, but you actually get to sing along either in your head or out loud, and it's sweet, and it's also very relaxing.
Yeah. So this is a really, really beautiful day, Thursday the 19th, and we're kind of winding down the week of really basically. This is kind of like the last week, last kind of day-ish of the like huge work year, right? Because Christmas is kind of like is a week, because it's the middle of the week, and then New Year's is a kind of the week. So there's like just popcorning if you have to do any work. So this just seems to be like, I know we talked last night at dinner that it was just like, oh my gosh, the little bit of pieces that are left to do at the end of the year, can make us feel grateful that we had such whether this is a hard year or a stunning year of some sort. There was some good and some difficult. But, we got through it. We got through it.
Absolutely. So. Let's move on to our final transit of the week, Saturday the 21st, Sun in Capricorn. It is officially winter.
Right. This is at 3:21 a.m. So it's not like at this exact moment, while we're snuggled in our bed with visions of sugar plums in our head that we're going to go to a sub-zero temperature, right? Like winter.
Right.
Zing. However, it is when the sun reaches its maximum elongation at that kind of declination of now it's starting. It's going to slow down. It's called the Solstice. Sun stands still.
And it's also the shortest day of the year. Is that right?
Yeah. And so it now the sun starts to move. It takes about 3 or so days to start moving into maybe shorter days. So mark the time, not the 3:21 a.m., but mark the, 4 o'clock. It was funny. I was walking up to Pilates the other day and I'm like, maybe, and I think I figured it out because I was like, I usually go to a 5 o'clock class, and I'm walking up going, it seems lighter out.
Ooh, yeah.
And I'm like, wait a second, we're not to this winter solstice yet. Why do I see it lighter? And I reminded myself by looking at my phone, I'm signed up for the 4:30 class. So it was just that little half-hour place that I had that feeling of, oh my gosh, it's getting lighter. But indeed, it was the timing. So pay attention to that feeling of, it's not so dark so fast once we get past this Saturday, December 21. So, it's a really good time, and it's in Capricorn. Let's think about that. These are the Capricorn is like, hey, the endurance. This is the long-term endurance sign. Capricorn ruled by Saturn. It says, what is my focus? What is my long-term
goal
section here? What's the verb of ambitious?
The verb?
Yeah, like ambitiousing. To be ambitious, I get that, right? But it's like, to having like a ing on the end of that, right? Like kind of a springboard.
Focusing or determining.
Well, I know I'm just trying to use the word ambitious because that's a Capricorn word. So it's kind of like ambitiousness, ambitious singing. Are you trying to Google it right now?
Yep. Let's see. Can it be used as a verb?
Yeah. Ambitiousness. Bitingness.
No.
Okay, I'm going to forget about it. Anybody has that, let me know. And ambitiousing. That's where I'm going to go.
Okay. We can
that's
make it
the
up.
term. That's what we're going to do. Look ahead for some, focused, purposeful motivation. Mm-hmm. But, we are going through the holidays, so.
Yeah, right. And I think that one of the things that Capricorn, as you're saying, can do is buckle down and get serious about the goals even when winter's coming, right? Mm-hmm. So it's rationing and it's making sure that resources can last longer or that you can somehow go out and grab more resources if you need them to withstand the winter climates and the lack that we do kind of seemingly naturally feel during the winter. There's not vegetation, there's not a bunch of animals around, there's a little bit of lack.
Right, so what we do in the harvest season, September, October, is now we're opening those cans, right? We're opening those packages.
The jars,
we're going to the
pickles.
freezer and picking out all the fermentation that is going to sustain us through this time. So we like this, I like all 4 seasons. I will always want 4 seasons, to recognize the change,
the changing of time
within us, the hibernation and the exfoliation and the new growth.
right.
So.
All right. Yeah. So that's the week. It's just 3 transits. And remember, you can follow along with these transits personally. If you head to the website, intentionbeads.com/chart, you can download your own chart. And you're just going to make sure that you get an idea of the lay of the land, what planets are in what sign. And if you notice, like Sun in Capricorn is coming up, and you have, say, your Saturn in Capricorn, that means the Sun is going to be transiting your Saturn.
I have an update for Mars retrograde.
Sure.
Okay, so Mars retrograde, Mars is the red planet, right? Mars is the action figure, and he's retrograde. Interesting, I heard on the news this morning that back in the, again, I should say, that the FDA is banning red dye number 3 in foods.
Why was it able to come back? I guess that's a more serious question.
Well, in 1990, and I did a little bit of research on this, and I can't find the month in 1990 that the FDA.
And was this recent? Oh, 1990.
1990,
okay.
And Mars was retrograde. Now remember, Mars retrogrades every 2 years. So he was retrograde in 1990, and that's when they pulled out all the red dye from cosmetics. And it makes it the cherry red color of like lipsticks and rouges and powders and, anything that has some of the skin products. Because it has a tendency for, it was creating carcinogenic in animals. So now I hear on the news today that red dye number 3 is going in front of the FDA to be removed from foods. It's like, what?
So why did we ban it from?
Yeah, it never got
first.
Yeah. Oy. So your strawberry red flavors, your cherry red, Jolly Ranchers, and I'm not saying Jolly Ranchers is a brand. I'm just using that as a sample of whatever red these children candies. I even read that it's in ho-hos, and I'm like, ho-hos aren't red. But anyway, they're it's getting ready to be banned. And the UK and the European nation have banned it for years. Years, like tons of years.
Wow.
It's like, why are we a little slow? And it's a petroleum, an additive petroleum. So it's just interesting that here we are in a Mars retrograde, where Mars isn't so strong, and it's being removed, right? Retrograde removed from some of our food products. Well, all of our food products. Let me say that.
Yeah.
Right?
Well, good. I mean, that's
so maraschino
really great
cherries will be what color? We'll see.
Wow. All right, so let's move on to the horizon, where if you haven't watched it yet, make sure to head over to the Patreon page where we have our December astrology forecast and cheat sheet to round out the rest of the year, and also join in the our year ahead. That is going to be December 28th, and it's going to be a free event for anyone who wants to join. And it'll be broadcasted live on Facebook, so you can learn and understand more about what's going on astrologically on the shallow side, going through as many days as we can with Sandy and Susan. And if you want to learn more and dive deeper, we can always welcome you with open arms into our Patreon community. We also just finished up the CWS webinar about Mars retrograde. So that is a very cool update about the additives in the food and how Mars retrograde can renegotiate things and have us reflect and bring up different areas. And then our 2025 Mexico retreat, the basics of astrology and human design, is happening January 4th to the 11th. If you are interested, you must.
I have one space open.
Must get a hold of us as soon as possible because the doors will be closing.
Don't you need a break then?
Yeah.
Not today, but
right.
Think about your
January
break.
4th to the 11th. It's a good time.
No one's going to miss you.
Yeah,
seriously.
And not a whole lot is going to be happening during that time. So It is a great time to retreat, reflect, and renew yourself into, who is it what gifts do I have? Who am I? And what can both astrology and human design, where do they intersect, and where can I learn lessons from? With astrology being, these are gifts that you were given from birth and moving forward. And then with human design, about really noticing in your body about decision making and what feels right and in alignment with you. So I just think that both of these tools are so helpful that they can help so many people.
It's just, and it's a great way at the beginning of the year to set new sights, set new intentions for handling. I mean, there's a lot coming in 2025.
Okay.
A lot of planets, a lot of these outer planets are moving over the boundaries of 29 to 0 to 1. All of them.
So a lot of transformation.
So a lot of change that, we may or may not be ready for. It was interesting. I'm looking at the 0 or the 1 degree of all the cardinals are going to be affected. The 0-1 degree of all the fixed signs are going to be affected. And the 0 and 1 degree of all the mutable signs will be affected. So because of this, our whole demeanor, our whole nature will be going through some adjustments. The transformation, yes, is Pluto. Neptune is, what are we feeling about this? What is our dream? What is true? What is untrue? And the Uranus is the kind of shock in all of it of getting rid of something that is no longer good for us that we have to get to the other side of. So all of these three planets are moving over the 0-1 area. And in, like I said, all of the Aries point, that's the cardinal. That's Aries, Cancer, Libra, Cardinal. Capricorn. And the fixed. This is the Aquarius that Pluto's going over. So that's the Aquarius, Taurus, Leo, Scorpio.
Mm-hmm.
And then the Gemini, which is the mutable. We got Uranus moving into Gemini. So that's Gemini, Virgo, Sagittarius, Pisces. So when you count all those up, it's all 12.
Yeah.
All 12 of the zodiac signs are being at the very early. Now, do you have an early degree personal planet, sensitive point, rising sign, node, whatever? This is tapping on you this 2025 and doesn't really finish until 2026. So we all need new tools. We need to sharpen the ones we have that work, disregard the ones that don't work, right? Like my kitchen faucet. I didn't like the way it worked, so I had to get a new one so that I wasn't frustrated all the time with trying to have it do what it was supposed to do when it didn't.
Right.
So this is just this retreat, and I have one spot left in this brand new facility of Casa Tara in their luxury villas. And they won't even show the pictures online yet. They won't even show me the pictures. But anyway, just getting back to the astrology, it's a massive year of change. And we see that with our incoming, leader. We don't know what it's going to be like, but it is going to be different than what we know. Be prepared.
Right.
Hey, we're here for this, right? We cannot check out. I mean, we can, but to whose benefit? No one's.
Right. Right.
So check in.
So let's move into our house.
That was a little.
Yeah, I mean that's
little.
2025 is coming up, right? Time keeps ticking, so it is good to fashion ourselves with different tools that we can use moving forward in our lives.
And you know what I'm also thinking? This red dye, I'm looking at my notes here, the red dye number 3. Maybe they'll take it out of the paintball. When you shoot guns and those paintballs and you shoot paint pellets, maybe they'll take the red out of that because Mars is the gun.
Oh.
I don't know why I'm thinking that.
All right.
Anyway, I got on my high horse.
Okay, so let's move into our house where, of course, Christmas is coming. And tell me, what are your holiday plans?
Heading to Cincinnati again. My mom will be, she's 92 on the verge of 93 in February. And so she still does her 26, trees and decorations and wreaths and so that's been all up since before Thanksgiving. And so, the whole family is heading back to Cincinnati into the big house. And I'm in charge of Christmas Day. So that's one reason why I'm like, my mom always likes to use the dining room for just those that are there for Christmas Day, since we get together Christmas Eve, Christmas Day, and our big Christmas
main family is the 26th.
And so we have these 3 massive days of party, food. We got, 30 people at the top and as little as 9 on some of these occasions. So there's a lot of food and prep and breakfast, lunch, dinner that need to happen, and sleeping arrangements and babies coming in, new babies coming in, and new relationships and marriage partners. So we just keep getting bigger and bigger. And anyway, so heading that way and, being thankful and grateful that, my mom still wants to do all this in the house that we started in at my 68 years ago.
Right.
Yeah.
And
your plan?
So I'm coming along with, I'm tagging along with going to Cincinnati. I'm really excited to see the family, I don't even know, I guess second cousins, but I like to call them more like nephews. The new babies that have joined our family, I'm going to be meeting one of them for the first time.
Yeah.
And, and then once you head back to Chicago, you're going to prep for the Mexico retreat, and I am going to be heading to Mexico with Rocco and his family, and we're going to be having our New Year's event that has been becoming more and more of a tradition of spending some time with him and his family.
So nice.
Right.
To Cancun, and I'll be going. In fact, we were looking at our flights schedule, and it's like I'm heading to Cabo, and our planes are passing each other, probably
in
over
the sky,
over Texas, maybe. You'll be coming back from Cancun, and I'll be going to Cabo San Lucas.
Right.
So come along with me. One more spot left.
Yes. All right, so that is a wrap on today's episode. Thank you, everybody. We hope you have a wonderful holiday season. Stay warm, enjoy your friends and family, and the joy that Christmas and the holidays can bring. So,
Alrighty.
All right, everybody. See you all next week.
Happy holidays.
I say go do you. Now travel far, share your stories and earn your stars. It's you. Say you are the one you will answer to when this life is done. Don't waste a minute, jump in the river. Wash yourself clean so you can deliver you. The story of you, the story of you. The story of you, the